everybody, it's Jennifer from Two Tall Stitchers. Just me today. I am down in my basement, which is my quilting area, and thought before we put our ornaments on the tree, I would give you a little run through. I've been inspired by the unboxing videos that Helen D has done of her different seasonal pieces, and I have all my ornaments in one place, not the same for my other seasons. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to share with you what I've stitched over the years. So I have a box full of goodies to share with you today. I bought this box at the Container Store probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought it'd be plenty big to store my ornaments. Well, look at that. After the FFO challenge this year, it is overflowing, which is very exciting. So I'm probably going to need to buy a bigger box. So that'll be next up after the holidays. But I'm going to go through them like Helen does in the order they come out of the box. I will do my best to remember what they are. If I've forgotten anything and you have to know what it is, just let me know. I will not remember what I stitched them on, what I stitched them with, any of those details. For the most part, I try and use called for, especially the older pieces. So let's jump in. All right, first up, I'll pull a few that are from this year. They're on the top of the box. The first one is, this is called Christmas Joy, and it is from Praiseworthy Stitches. This was a kit I purchased at Needlework Market this year. It's stitched up really fast, and the finishing kit was with it. You do the half ornament or half globe frame, and you glue things around the side, and boom, you have a finished ornament. That was a fun one, and I'm looking forward to putting that on the tree this year. Next up was a finish, I think from last month. This is a Primrose Cottage piece from their first White Christmas series. This one I do know is stitched on 25 count platinum Lugana. And I picked the reindeer. You'll see a theme here. I love those reindeer. And I did a wrapped hoop finish. And in the back, it has wool felt. The other one at the top of the box, which is from this year, was one of my first FFOs. It was probably a January FFO this year. And I'm blanking on the designer and the name. I think it was Candy Cane Cardinal. And I stitched this earlier in the year. I found it last year and fell in love with it. So this one I made into a little pillow ornament, put my initials on the back, and just used a little piece of velveteen ribbon that I had. Next up is one that you saw if you watched our last video. It is a Lizzie Kate piece, and I think this is from the series Jingles. I'm not positive. I just had this one from the series. I didn't purchase the whole series, and so this is my finish. It is a flat fold finish with fabric on the back, cording that I made from DMC around the sides, and I just love this one. I think this little reindeer is super cute. I'm probably going to say that the whole time. I love this one. I love that one. Here's another Lizzie Kate. This is from one of the Tidy Tidings. I completely changed the colors on this because I wanted to stitch it on this pink fabric and do the blue and purple colors with the red. I thought it would be really fun. And the finishing piece, I believe I found at Target years ago, like super clearance after the holidays were over, and it was something about a cup of cheer, something hot chocolate related. So it was a perfect fit for this ornament, and it just has a little ribbon on the top that came with it. All right, digging deeper into the box. This one, I think this is also a Lizzie Kate. This was a gift from my friend. She knows my love of reindeer, and she stitched this one up for me. And this is one of the pre-finished pillow forms where you stitch it and you pop it into the form. And I can't even see where she finished it up. She must have somewhere. Or maybe you just slide it in. I don't know. But this is a one that sits out in a bowl. It doesn't have a hanger, so I guess technically they aren't all ornaments. A couple of pillows as well. Next up, another couple of ornaments that I stitched this year. These are from Frony Ritter Designs, and I think they're just called Christmas panels, if I remember correctly. These two were in the same booklet. There's two booklets, And I picked these up at Market as well, and she also had the tags at Market, so I thought they were just a really neat finish. They're stitched on perforated paper with a little bit of wool felt behind them. More pillows coming in the next layer. This is Heart in Hand. It's the Santa from, I stitched it in 2022, so I think it's either the 2020 or 2021 Santa, and I saw a finish similar to this with the pillow with fabric on two sides, a bow in the corner, and I put that 2022 charm on that one, and I absolutely love this. I think this is one of my favorite pieces where I feel like the fabric really matches and complements the design of the piece. So this is another item that goes into a bowl. The next pillow was a Lizzie Kate kit years ago, and it came with everything that you see in it. I can't remember the name of it, but it was in one of those in a little CD case, and you got all the stuff in it. So that was a cute and a fun finish that I did. I can't read the year. I did it a while ago. That one was fun. When you did the rickrack, you also put beads on it. From this project, I learned you can't iron rickrack, so don't look too closely. It's a little bit crispy. Let me just quickly say before I jump into the next one that for 2 years, I participated in a challenge group on Facebook, and I'll put the name of the group below, that picked 12 ornaments out of the just cross stitch Christmas ornaments issue. And so this was the first year, 2015. I stitched 12 of them. I didn't finish 12 of them that year, but I stitched them. I was one of, I think, less than 5 people who got put into a drawing. And as a result, I won the disc of the ornament collection from 97 to 2013. So you're going to see a lot of ornaments from this magazine. In 2016, I pretended I was going to play along again with 12 more. I didn't get 12 done, but I did a bunch from this magazine as well, so you'll see them. Chances are, if I'm showing you one, it's from 2015 or 2016. There's a few others that are different years. So this one is 2016. This is Dear Santa, and I won't remember designers on most of these, if any of them. Finish this one as a little pillow with some brown fabric, and that goes into a bowl as well. I'm afraid my pillows are all going to fall over. Let's keep with that theme. So this, I believe, was also from, I don't have a date on it, 2015 or 2016. This one was triangular, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of finish it as a tree. If you've been watching Helen and doing her tree finishes, this would be a fun one to put on one of the placeholders to make it into a tree, to add to a little tree forest. Let's see, I'm going to try and find a few more from the ornament issues. This one is, well, one of my favorites. So I think this was from the first year of the ornament issue, although I'm not positive. Nope, it was from 2016 because it's right there on the top of the magazine. This one was so fun. I changed the colors. No, I didn't. I'm looking at the picture. Nope, I did it in blue, and I thought this guy was super cute. This would also be a good one if you decorate for winter in January. You could definitely stitch that up and put that into a winter dough bowl, because I think it doesn't say Christmas as much as some of the other ones do. Next up is an ornament that was a gift. This was from Terry, who goes to our quilt retreats in Chipshawana. It is a folded fabric star, and she was doing these this year and teaching people how to do them, and she brought them over and gave one to me and one to my mom. So thank you, Terry. I look forward to putting that on the tree this year. Next up is Noel. This was a free pattern that I got at a checkout in a cross stitch store, and I wish I could tell you which one, but I don't remember. I stitched this with the DMC variegated like Christmas threads. I don't love how it turned out because it really doesn't show up well in the areas where the thread went to white. It looks a little bit better in person. I did it on the sparkling fabric. I can't remember the name of it. And then I used the same thread for the cording of this one. This was the first time I did a tag finish and put the brad in. It was a challenge. I learned a lot through this one, but I think it's good enough, and it's this one gets hidden usually on the side or the back of the tree. They can't all go on the front, right? Another favorite here, this one is definitely from one of the older Christmas ornament collections. I pulled that off the disc. I remember looking through one morning, several patterns on the disc that I wanted to stitch. I printed them all out, and I believe this one is also a Lizzie Kate. There was more to it, but I had this little tiny piece of petty point left that I wanted to use, and so I think there was something below it that I left off. I stitched this sucker in one morning, maybe one day, and I finished it as a needle roll, which was a really fun finish. It was a bit of a stretch for me, but I really enjoyed it, and I think it turned out really great. I'm super happy with it. Here's another one from a Just Cross Stitch. This is a little Santa with joy, and I finished him as a pillow, so he sits in a dough bowl as well. All right, next up, this came from a Doodles kit. We've showed a few of those. I showed you my little vampire guy, I think a couple episodes ago. This is Doodles Santa. So in these kits, they give you the pattern and they give you color suggestions, but not specific numbers, so you pick your own colors. So here is my Santa. I thought he would go really quickly. He took a long time. That's a lot of beard and a lot of hat. So he was one of the years that I was trying to stitch an ornament a month. I thought, oh, this will be a quick one. And I worked on him all month long. This is another wrapped hoop finish. On this one, I actually glued on the back instead of stitching. This was one of my earlier wrapped hoop finishes. And then I have some ribbon that I picked up at one of the big box stores, I believe, and it's kind of fallen apart. This one needs a little bit of a brush up now after being in the case for a year. Okay, here's another pillow. This one I did finish into an ornament. This was from either 2015 or 2016. And this might have been one of the bonus stitch pieces. So they picked 12 in the Facebook group, but if you have like 2 freebie months. So if you don't like one of the 12, then you go stitch your own. So I think I went and picked this one up because it had a reindeer on it. And I just think it's so cute. Santa there waving and the little checked border at the finish, the heart. That was a fun one to stitch. Let's do some sleds. So like many of you, I had a year where I decided to start stitching sleds, and I stitched 3 of them. I love them: the snowman, Eskimo, and penguin. And these I usually hang on our Christmas tree. I think they're super cute. I can't remember if this is a Lizzie Kate pattern or if it's a different pattern for the sleds. And then the next one is also a sled, but this is one of the bigger sleds. So this was my exchange piece in an exchange we did with several Flosstubers 2 years ago. And this one came from Michelle at Mama Loves You GB. And it's such a sweet Santa with the elf and the little star buttons, and it just looks great. This is definitely a bigger sled, so it stands out a little bit better on the tree when you hang it there. Next up is another ornament from Just Cross Stitch. This one was a favorite. Love the alphabet, love the tree, love the colors, and finished that one also with the fabric on 2 sides. And this one has that same velveteen red ribbon. I think 3 or 4 of these pillows I took with me to my cross stitch retreat one year with a goal of making a bunch of cross stitch pillows. And I believe it was this one, that red ribbon. I think anywhere that shows up, that came from that year. Okay, we're getting deeper in the box. This is one of my very few Prairie Schooler stitches. and it has dog hair on it, so give me just a second. This was from one of the Christmas ornament issues, and this one was also intense. The big red house and the trees and the snow. I think this one definitely took me longer than a month to stitch, but I think it's a really pretty ornament. I think if I did this again, I would stitch it on a smaller count fabric, so it's kind of more delicate, but I really like how it turned out. And I finished this one as a pillow with some cute cardinal fabric on the back. Next is another one that's a little worse for the wear in the box, needs a little fluffing. This one says 2016 on it. And I honestly can't remember where this came from. It might have been from the Ornaments issue, or it might have been a freebie that I picked up. There's a little snowflake in the middle, piece around the edge, and then the year, so it says 2016 on there. And this one I finished just as a little fringed pillow. All right. The next one, another favorite. This is from Doreen Jones, and this was in one of the ornament issues. And this one I saw Helen stitch, and I had to go immediately find it and stitch it. And I have a lot of the ornament issues, but not all of them. So I went to my mom's house. She has all of them. And I dug through the ones I didn't have, and this was the very last one so that I found. But I was super happy. This is called a pendibule. It was a very fun finish and not nearly as hard as I thought it would be. So there's beads all around the edging, the holly on the back, and then I made cording to hang it. But I just think that guy is the cutest, cutest little reindeer. And it's such a fun shape to do. Okay, this one's going in the way back machine for stitching, but just got finished, I think this year or last year. So this is actually a needlepoint piece that I did at our local shop, Persnickety Stitchers, many, many years ago. I think even before my mom lived here, I took a couple of classes. They used to do an annual ornament class, and so I stitched this piece, and it sat in the back of my bin for probably 20 years because I didn't know how to finish needlepoint. And when we had a new finisher working with the shop, I took these in, this and another piece you'll see in a few minutes, so that she could practice needlepoint finishing. And so I got these as part of her training, which was fantastic, and I love how it's finished. Let me find the other one. We'll do the two needlepoint pieces together. So this is the other one. This was another class that was done through the shop, and then I took with some kind of specially stitch. I don't remember what they're called, but that was all done with one variegated thread, and then she put the tassel on the bottom of it, and this one is finished with perfect batik fabric in the back, and I just love the colors of this one. Next is, I think this was a Victoria's Sampler kit many years ago, and I stitched it a long time ago. I had in my fabric, or in my stash, this red fabric. It's not a cotton. I got it somewhere over the years. I have it in a couple of colors, and I thought this would just be perfect for this to put behind, and then I put it on the back as well. So this is a hardanger piece. I went through a hardanger phase where I did a lot of it. I enjoy it. I'll get back to it, I'm sure, from time to time, but there's that one. All right, next up, this is from a Just Cross Stitch, either 2015 or 2016. I stitched this one. I was inspired by Carol, who is Caroling55 on Instagram. She does a lot of over one stitching for her Christmas stitching, and I was like, oh, I think I'll try that. So I tried it for this project and wound up with this super cute little finish. It's a mounted flat piece with felt on the back, and I think I made that cording. Or I had it left over from another time when I had made it. I'm sure it's DMC, and I'm pretty sure these are DMC threads. I've got to do another one of those over ones. They kind of drive you crazy when you're doing them, but they're super cute. This is another one from 2015 or 2016, just cross stitch. I was gonna try to remember who this was, but I'm gonna get it wrong probably. So this one you stitched in the multiple pieces. It is stitched on perforated paper. I can't remember if it's DMC or variegated. It looks like it could be variegated threads. And then you cut these guys out and dangle them. And so it is backed with felt and the ribbons to connect them. That's also a fun one on the tree since it hangs down with the multiple pieces. Another favorite here, this I think is a Bent Creek, and this one I had printed out, so I'm not sure where I got it, if I got it online somewhere or if it was a freebie from a shop, but I thought it was just the cutest little alphabet ever. I stitched this many, many years ago. I didn't even put the year on it. And I think I finished this since we've started our Flosstube. This was another one of my very early tag ones where I had to learn how to put the little brad through there and clamp it in, and it is backed with felt, but I really like that one. I thought that was very fun, bright fabric to put behind it. This one too, another favorite. This is from a just cross stitch ornament issue. I think it's hands-on design, but I'm not positive. I just loved the reindeer on this one, the motifs at the top and the bottom, the colors, it was all perfect for me. And I stitched it on some type of charcoal, gunmetal, one of those linens, finished it as a flat ornament with some fabric on the back and cording that I made. I've seen this green cording several times. I think I must have made it for something and made extra so that I would have it for other things. Next up is an oldie but a goodie. This is a Mill Hill kit that I think I stitched in college or right after I got out of college in the mid-90s. So this one sat around for a long time. And finally one day I was like, why is this just sitting in your bin? I literally slapped fabric and a ribbon on the back of it and boom, it's done. And I love this one. It was an old buttons and beads kit, again, probably from the mid-90s. In the same vein, this one I remember stitching because I was really afraid I was going to run out of the blue for the border. This is another Mill Hill buttons and beads kit, another very old one. It sat at the same place as that other one, and I finished them together. This one has felt on the back with the ribbon, but also another oldie but goodie. All right, this one is one of my most challenging shapes that I've done. This was from a just cross stitch ornament issue, and it was one of the ones that was picked for the year. I decided to finish it in this tree shape. I put cording around the edge, a little ribbon. I'm not going to show you the back because I laid it on top of something and the glue dried from the cording to that. I think it must have been some kind of paper. So it's really ugly on the back, but it is fabric backed. This one, I think I stitched within the last couple of years. I'm pretty sure I finished it this year as part of the FFO challenge. This was a hands-on design squareology piece. This was also in the, I think the 2016 ornament issue, and I stitched it as called for on the petty point, and really enjoyed stitching this one. It was really fun, and then finished it in a hoop. I felt this one didn't need anything around the hoop. I still need to put a hanger on it to put it on the tree, but really like that one. Alrighty, this little guy was also a Mill Hill kit, and I think my mom gave me this one. I stitched this and finished it. I was so proud of myself. It came with the beads in the kit to make the tassels, to make the hanger, and then gave you the instructions for how to sew it all together. So this one actually has been a long finished FFO and one that's been on the tree for several years. Next up are 3 embroidery ornaments, and these were, I think I bought them at the old Erica's up in South Bend, Indiana. And I can't remember the pattern, but if you need to know, let me know. I'll find it. So these were just embroidered with DMC, and they just make cute little flat finishes. I think I took these on a trip somewhere and stitched on them while I traveled. Little embroidery pieces like this are great to take on a trip. For me, they're much easier than trying to see the holes in cross stitch. So I have a few more embroidery pieces I need to dig out. I'm realizing as I'm going through this that I'm missing a few things. So I'm not quite sure where they are, but I'm sure I will find them over time. They probably wound up in our regular ornament box. This one was actually stitched by the Princess back in 2016. She has her name in 2016 on the back of it, and she finished it herself. She did the stitching around. There's fabric and batting, a little bit of batting in it. She did the stitching around and then took my pinking shears and cut it and cut right into the ribbon here. So this one has some duct tape on it to make it stay together, but that's hers. It's in my box, but when she has her own tree, that will go home with her. The last couple are sewing ones. So this was a little kit that I picked up somewhere to make this Santa ornament. It was easy to do with the instructions. You just pieced together these pieces, cut them out. It was all one piece. This is tacked down. Sewed it all together, flipped it, and then you tacked it together and put the little bell on, and then there's a little ornament pull. So that was a fun one, and the back of Santa is just like his hat. It's a very light one. The next one didn't turn out as well as I hoped. I think my mom gave me this ornament. I still don't have a hanger on him. But this little guy was a kit to make the reindeer. I'm looking now. I think I did the wrong buttons. I think it should have been the big buttons for his eyes and the little buttons for his nose. But I did this one year when I was trying to go through and work some of my kits. So I might have to set that one aside to change those buttons and also to put a hanger on him. And then the last ones, and there should be 3 of these, so I don't know what happened. Again, it probably wound up in the normal ornament box. For many years, I kept a box of selvages in my quilting area. And one year I was like, I need to use the selvages. So when I went to retreat, I took a handful of selvages in red, green, and gold and made myself these little selvage stockings. I had the pattern for those that I picked up somewhere. So they were kind of fun to make, but to be honest with you, I didn't love the selvages. So after I got done, I got rid of my selvages. So that is everything that's finished. I think I'm looking around. Just a few more minutes. I'll show you my pile of ornaments that are stitched but not finished, which thanks to the FFO challenge is much smaller this year. So this one is a Britter Cup Designs. I stitched it back in 2021. I changed the colors from a black cat to a gray cat so it would reflect our cat. And this one, ooh, I just thought this could be finished in that tree format like Helen's been doing. That might be my finish for this one because somebody I know bought a dozen of those little tree stumps. The next one is a piece, I think I stitched this last year, 22. This is from the 2010 Just Cross Stitch ornament issue, and it's French Country Star by JBW Designs. I bought this as a kit in Columbus at the store we went to there. I can't remember the name of it, but they kitted up a bunch of the Just Cross Stitch ornaments with the fabric, the thread, and this one even has fabric in it for the finishing. And so this one will be a finish at some point, but I just think it's so pretty. I have a few more of Judy's pieces and I really need to work them into my stitching plans because I really like them. The next one also is from a Just Cross Stitch. This is again either 2015 or 2016, the Cardinals in the Tree. This one, I know Michelle will chuckle when I show this. I have the fabric, the foam core, sorry, the mat board with the batting already on it, the piece for the back, and the fabric I'm going to use to finish it all together in one piece. Although now that I'm looking at this, this might become a tree as well. So maybe it's a good thing that I've never finished that. I tend to start some of these and then I don't go all the way through. The next two were Victoria's Sampler kits that were, I think these were gifts to me from my mom. So the first one is the Noel heart, and these were a series that had like difficulty levels, and this was one of the higher difficulty levels with those roses. This was also several years ago. I did Year of the Kits for my stitching and my quilting, and so these were kits that she had given me that I hadn't stitched, so they got pulled out that year, and I think they're so pretty, and I just need to get the guts to actually finish them. I need to probably trace those hearts and be able to do, I'd love to do a flat finish in the shape of a heart. The next one is the same thing. It's from a Victoria's Sampler kit, and it is the Peace Heart. And again, these are the specialty stitches I learned here. I can't remember the name of them, but this one was also another really fun stitch. And I think, as I look at it, I think those specialty stitches were done with wildflowers or one of those specialty kind of variegated threads, but same thing there. I just need to get my heart template filled out. The next one is from Rovaris, and I stitched this 2021, I believe, and this is Joy, and then this is the little piece that goes around it as a band, and the way you finish this is like that. There's the pattern, you know, their patterns don't have names, but this one came with the tassel and here and with the spool. I haven't been able to find the right red for the pillow. However, when I was at Craft Gallery, I did find a green pom, so I may just wind up making this into a pillow and forgo the tassel. I don't know, we'll see. And the last one is a piece I stitched in 2018, and I can't remember the name of this one, but I know I still have the pattern. This is a beaded tree. I didn't stitch that star on the top for like 4 or 5 years. I finally did one day. This is on, I think, a heather, some kind of a heather field. I can't remember what this fabric was called, that I got from a friend who used to stitch. And my plan is to finish this as a fringed pillow. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this run through my ornaments. I'll try and take some pictures or video once we get our tree set up, and I'll share that on my Instagram. You can find my Instagram and my mom's below. My blog, if you have questions about any of these, most of them are shown in my blog over the years because I do track what I finish, and I take pictures and I tell more about them. So don't hesitate to jump over there and look for these pieces as well. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you all have happy holidays. Bye.